What is going on, guys? Matt O'Leary back with another video. It is Monday after a New York Jets win. A victory Monday, things you love to see. Even if it was a little bit of a sloppy game, a little bit is probably a stretch. It was very much so a sloppy game, but a win is a win. So something we've made a habit of on Monday is going through and evaluating Zach Wilson's performance because, well, Zach Wilson's a hot button issue on, or just among New York Jets fans. I was going to say on Jets Twitter, but it's not just Twitter. It's pretty much everywhere you go, in Instagram, any comment section, wherever. It's usually either Zach Wilson's the best thing ever or Zach Wilson is terrible. And, you know, the truth probably lies somewhere in between, right? And, you know, we'll go through, we'll look at the box score numbers first. We'll talk about the good, the bad, things that are out of his control, because there were things in this game that were out of his control and things that he had to overcome, and try to add context to his performance. So I didn't think it was, like, when looking at the body of work from this season, I don't think this was one of his better games. There were some really good moments in this game, which we're going to hit on, but some of the box score numbers look ugly, and some other things in this game looked kind of ugly. So 17 to 36 passing, which is 47.2%. 240 yards, 6.7 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 2 fumbles lost, 4 sacks, and a 78.5 rating. So those jump off the page. And we'll get to the drops because I know we're going to hear it. There were drops in this game, and there were good throws that should have been caught. Allen Lazard had one that jumps out to me on a second down. And there were opportunities for, you know, the New York Jets to pull in some passes, which would have added some more to his yardage, which would have made his completion percentage better. But still, even with that, there were some things that were concerning in this game. For instance, fumbles have become a little bit too common for him this year. That wasn't an issue as much through his first 2 seasons in the NFL, but this year, it's kind of crept into play a little bit, and he had 2. And you know, we'll get to the second fumble was a bad exchange with the 4th string center, Xavier Newman's first snap at center. Like, I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to crush him on that. It was his 3rd center that day, right? You go McGovern, Schweitzer, and then Newman has to come in, which is just, it was terrible that the Jets offensive line was in shambles due to the injury on your, essentially, if you include Joe Timmon, right? This is what, their 4th or 5th string center, excuse me. That's just absolutely unbelievable. But the first one, I thought was a little bit frustrating on the first possession. So Kayvon Thibodeau gets a strip sack, and Kayvon absolutely destroyed Mekhi Becton on the rep. Like, you cannot ignore that. But he was hit on back-to-back plays. There was one on second down that he got out, and it was incomplete. You know, the ball was going forward. So it was one of those where it's like, was it a fumble or was the ball going forward? Ball was going forward. And then the next play, Mekhi got beat pretty bad, like by Kayvon Thibodeau. There's no sugarcoating it. Mekhi after the game was like, I need to be better. And he does. He struggled, and he'll be the first to tell you that he struggled in this game. And Kayvon is not a bust, shockingly. He's a pretty damn good player. But Michael Carter was available in the flat for him to check down to and hit before he even started to roll to the right. And against a team like the New York Giants, they're going to blitz. They're going to send 7+ against an offensive line that has 5. And sure, like, you can make the case, well, shouldn't they keep tight ends in to help block? Yeah, they should. But in this situation, again, you're going to take a big hit on the play. There's no avoiding that. But there was an opportunity to get the ball out to the check down, and maybe Michael Carter picks up a first down. It's not a guarantee. It's not even a guarantee that he catches the ball, but it's something that, you know, you avoid a turnover and gifting the Giants 3 points, because the Giants would go 3 and out after that, but they were in field goal range already after the strip sack. It's something that you would like to see him avoid. You'd like to see him avoid a fumble in that spot. And again, the second one, I'm not going to kill him on the 4th string center, and, you know, a bad, you know, exchange in the pouring rain. I won't do it. I know some people are going to be hard on him for that, but I won't in that spot. All right, so let's do the good, the bad, and out of his control. The good first. Final drive in regulation, and he made some big throws and big plays in overtime. he saved his best for last and was pretty clutch in that moment. Final drive, 4 for 7, 67 yards. He hit 2 big-time throws to get them down the field. And unlike the end of the first half in Denver, they were able to get the spike off. They got up to the line with some authority. They spiked the ball with 1 second left and were able to kick a game-tying field goal. And Zach deserves credit for, one, the couple of big throws that he made to get them down the field so quickly. And number two, also, getting up to the line and spiking the football. That's growth. They weren't able to do that 2 games ago, 3 weeks ago. But they were able to do it in that spot, and a really big spot. And, he was struggling before that. We're going to get into the struggles in a little bit here. But in crunch time, was good. Was very good on that drive. And in overtime, good on him to throw it towards Malik Taylor to draw the defensive pass interference. It was a good play. That was a really nice moment for Zach Wilson and for this Jets team. He needed that, and the team really needed that because the Jets, as we know, needed that game. Okay, so the bad. And again, we're going to get to the things out of his control after this. 4 sacks. I thought he held on to the ball too long in this game. The one on the first possession, the strip sack we talked about. On 4th and 10, he took a sack. That's just one you'd like to give your guy a shot, man. Throw it up. He was rolled to his left. He's trying to buy time, and he took the sack. Part of it, maybe you could make the case, well, the Jets, no one's getting open. The outside of Garrett Wilson, no one's separating. Okay, fair. That's fine, I guess. Let's hope that Joe Douglas adds another wide receiver. They absolutely could have better play calling. That is something that would go in the out of his control portion, because I do think Nathaniel Hackett wasn't very good in this game, which is disappointing because I thought over the last few games, for instance, 2 of the last 3, so before this game, obviously, so now it's 2 of the last 4, I thought Kansas City and Philadelphia he had pretty good game plans for. And the Jets offense, while they specifically, I thought, really struggled against the Eagles, kind of understandable. The game plans, I thought, were pretty solid in those games. I did not think they had a good game plan today. I did not think they, executed well, all that, but I don't think the play calling was very good in that one. So you had on 3rd downs, Zach and the offense was just really bad. Again, part of it's on Hackett, part of it's on game plan and scheme and all that, but a quarterback has to get some blame. Not all, but some blame for the struggles on 3rd down. 2 for 15. They started, and that, again, 2 was at the very end. They were 0 for at least 12 at that point, if not maybe more. It definitely started at least 0 for 12. Really tough. He missed Breece Hall on a third down in the flat. Something that you absolutely took as a positive was he was hitting the gimme throws. He was hitting the easy completions, and that's one you absolutely have to have. On 3rd down, a little, dump off in the flat, get it to your playmaker in Breece Hall. It would have been a 1st down. It could have potentially been a big yardage play because you look at what happened with, the check down to Breece Hall earlier in the game. He takes it 50-plus yards for a touchdown. That's awesome. You have to hit that throw. And now for the things that are out of his control. Weather. It was pouring rain. It was a really sloppy pouring rain game. It wasn't, a good opportunity to be throwing the football. I understand that is going to play a wet ball. Trying to throw a wet ball is not easy and not fun. It's not an excuse to only put up 13 points. I understand that there are going to be some struggles and going to be some misses, but that's why I gave him a break on the second fumble. But the weather definitely played a factor in this game. The offensive line injuries, as I mentioned, on his 3rd center, 3 different centers. A ton of guys were going down. Injuries were a major, major concern in this game. It played a factor in it for sure. Offensive line was in shambles. They ended the game with a 3rd or 4th, your 3rd or 4th tackle coming in and having to play at guard. Someone you just elevated from your practice squad coming in to play center. And that's already dealing with, injuries at right tackle, your backup right tackle coming in, Max Mitchell, and having to start and play that game. It was in a really tough spot. And then the drops. We hit on it a little bit. Drops are something that was out of his control. Allen Lazard had a big one. There were, by my count, 4 drops in this game. So even if you include those 4 completions, that he would be at 58% completion percentage, which is better than 47, obviously. But still on the lower side. You would like to see him get that number around 65%, because there were a few games, back-to-back games, where he was completing 70% of his passes, which was awesome. Last week against Philadelphia, completion percentage went down. And this time, again, it went way down. The adjusted completion percentage numbers aren't out yet. But again, by my account, it was there were 4 drops in this game, and on a couple of key drives, which is unfortunate. So kind of a hard game to evaluate. It was a little bit of a roller coaster ride. Like, the highs were good and pretty high, but the lows were really low, like really, really low. So just comparing it again to the 6 other games that he's played this year, the bad wasn't as bad as the Patriots game, but I would say the bad was probably the second worst game there. But the good moments were really good. So hopefully just find some level of consistency against the Chargers, split the difference, and just kind of be average for the entirety of the game, rather than like the 3 quarters and like more than half of the fourth quarter. Like 55 minutes of bad football to 5-7 minutes, I guess if you include overtime, of really good football. We'll split the difference and be average for the game. But again, the Jets come away with a win, which is the most important thing. The Jets win against the New York Giants 13-10. They improved to 4-3, but there are definitely still areas where the Jets can improve on the offensive side of the ball, and areas where Zach Wilson can improve. Let me know your thoughts on his performance down below. I'm Matt. I'll catch you next time.